Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Occupational Therapy for Life. I am Jay, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Disclaimer, I'm not your therapist. If you have a medical emergency, call 911. You should always keep your primary care provider into the mix whenever you have symptoms of any kind. Although there's not a channel dedicated to like really traditional type medical history, but some of the things that we talk about are related to rehab. So sometimes people might think that, hey, I have this, that. Maybe I should do XYZ because I saw something on the internet or on my Google search results. Despite that, you still need a medical professional because training is usually extensive, and usually the information that you gather online, they're general. It applies to the general population, but the people have specific situations, specific conditions, and if they have medication for anything else, or if they have any anomalies or abnormal body structures that may impact how a recommended intervention that would apply for someone of atypical development might be different for somebody who doesn't have the atypical development. So always consult your primary care provider. All right, so today I want to talk about when I first started as a therapist, I was very nervous. As a coder, I wasn't nervous because I wanted to be an OT. But as an OTR, some of the assignments that I took, there was no OTR in the building. So when you do assignments like that, it can be very challenging because if you're new in your capacity as an OTR, you may not necessarily know what to do in emergencies, and emergencies may not be something drastic, but it may be a situation where like the patient becoming violent and you don't know what to do. Yes, granted, you should have medical staff around you, especially in a setting like a nursing home. But in settings like home care cases, what do you do? Or in settings in the school system, what do you do? So here's what I would advise if you're new to OT and you're gonna get work. So I would say carry a OT pocket, a guide book with you. They sell them online, and there's all type of versions. They're basically a quick summary of different diagnoses and different treatment protocols that would be expected. Now, treatment protocols in these books are usually general. They're going to tell you to look at this area, look at that area, but it's not tailored to that specific individual that you're dealing with. It just gives you almost like when we talk about previous episode, a framework, gives you an idea of what to keep in mind as you're working with somebody. So have a pocket guidebook. And another thing you have to do is, because you're dealing with people, it's important to be yourself. Don't try to be like somebody that you're not. For example, I used to love watching this show. I hope I remember the name correctly. House MD. It's about this doctor who basically, he was very well knowledge and very well skilled, but his mannerism were rough and just blunt sometimes. The way he spoke about people and the way he spoke about, the way he spoke about getting things done. So he wasn't the guy that was concerned about people's feelings. It was more like, I need to get this job done, and this disease is almost like a mystery he wants to solve, and that's what he cares about. And so you're not trying to be something that you're not. Work at your own pace, be yourself, use your strength, whatever those are, and use that to your ability. I would consider this my strength. I think I'm a funny guy. And another thing that I always say is my strength is I'm patience. And another thing I guess I would consider my strength is that I like to be on time. Because I don't like to be late. And I like to give myself enough time. If I had to be there at 10 o'clock at a specific appointment or job, I'd rather leave the house by 8:30. So that way I give myself, for any hiccups in traffic, I give myself time to find parking because I like to park close. And I give myself time if I want to take a quick nap. And just to stretch, do a couple of push-ups. So it's important to be yourself and be on time. Be yourself meaning that, like, when you're with the patient, it's obviously, they will know when somebody's new and somebody's not new, even though they may not be a skilled therapist themselves, but you can just tell by a person's energy, the way they're behaving, the way they're asking questions. They might bring clipboards with them. Versus a seasoned therapist like myself, I come in, hey, what's up? I'm Jay, the OT, and how you doing? And I'll shake the hand. I go, ow, you're hurting me. That's me joking with them, breaking the ice barrier, and I made them feel like, oh, they're super strong. And I made the person laugh. And so that's my thing. But if you're a new grad into the field, you're probably gonna come in knocking the door as you should, but the way you knock says you're new. The way you enter the room and your mannerism, your body language, everything. So it's important to be yourself. That helps you to ease your anxieties and so forth. Be mindful that existing staff are not your friend or your colleague, because sometimes people are trying to be friends with people that they work with, but it's not necessary. You're here to do a job, and your job is to execute the job to the best of your ability. You have supervisors, you have department heads, or in rehab's case, rehab directors. So you have people you can talk to, and you should reach out to these sources. And also, I usually try to have a therapist. If it's a therapist I went to school with, or even my fieldwork coordinator, because if I'm new out of the OT school, I would have somebody that I can call, like, hey, I'm dealing with this issue, any advice. So have someone handy nearby to call for help. And also, when you go to a new place and you're the OTR, just know that there's a culture there before you, and that you want to kind of fit in and just play your role and just keep things moving. You're not here to reinvent the wheel and do anything extra, but you're here to learn the system that is at play. And as you learn that system, then you develop your niche and find a way to be yourself and develop relationships, the professional relationships, to help you be able to not only thrive and be comfortable there, but also to be comfortable to provide the treatment that your client needs. And it goes for all the different areas of occupational therapy, because when I went to work at the school that I work at now, the kids are much taller than me. They're high school age. They're strong. It's very intimidating. I was like scared of some of these kids. I'm like, this kid need OT for what? Because they're huge. And then my concern was, what happened when they get violent? Who do I call? Is there, what do I do? That's protocol. But then when it actually happens, you're thinking about saving your life. And so you need to find out the culture, ask questions, be cool with the staff, and know your place. Meaning, like, you don't know. You're new. Know you're new, And some of the staff may not be, that accommodating. Some staff feel like, you're getting paid just as much as I am, so you should be able to know what to do. If you know what to do, why you came here. So not every field, or at least not every position you're gonna go to, everything's gonna be friendly and cool. You just gotta find a way to do your part and get the job done. And another thing is, it's not your job to fix people. Meaning that there are people that come on therapy because they qualified, but they don't want therapy. And because especially in nursing homes, it's a for-profit business, majority of them. And if somebody comes in, they're a rehab candidate, we have to pretty much put them on therapy, because our job is to restore them. Our job is to provide care And our job is not to let them wither and become worse in our care. So it's almost like if you don't provide therapy, you'll find a way to do it. It's almost like this is a form of abuse. So you get the patient on therapy, but they're not motivated. They don't care. They don't want to be here. They just want to go home at any cost. Or the same thing with a student. The student's on therapy, but they are just focused on watching YouTube videos and go to gym, eat, or sleep. They just are not interested in this stuff. And so you got to find ways, creative ways to engage your client. And that's where it's important to get to know your client. That's where it's important to have, the history of the client, talk to the family member, and the interview of the client, so you know who they are as a person. That way you'll be able to make things happen. I got a bunch of movement in the background here, so normally my videos don't have that. Also another thing, HIPAA. So if you are calling a therapist for assistance, you still gotta remember patient privacy is utmost important. So therefore, if you're gonna talk about a situation, be very general about it and don't be specific with it, because you don't want to identify a patient next to them. Oh, yo, that's my father-in-law. Like, wow, who knew? We've been trying to figure it out. So you never know who's related to who, or that person be related to the administrator. Who knows? Because one time I had to treat the administrator's wife, and nobody wanted to treat her, so I was the one that gave her to me, and I'm like the new guy here. Like, I was a contractor, but I was a new guy here. So, it was one, I felt, okay, I was trusted with that. And two, I knew in a way the housing staff, they want to be bothered by that. Another occasion, I was given the administrator of the building who had a stroke, and I had to work with this person, and the in-house people did not want to deal with it. So sometimes you're in these situations and do what you got to do. But hopefully for new therapists, you don't deal with that. So always try to get a job where there's other therapists and where you can learn from them. And also don't just be focused on just OT only. Learn about both fields, speech, physical therapy, because you get a better appreciation for those fields, and you get to know when you need to use them, and also you get to know when to refer patients to them. And also the language and dynamics and how they do things. The more you can learn as a therapist, the better equipped you are, the better quality of treatment you'll provide, because you'll be more in depth in terms of your understanding of things. So never stop learning, and always know it's a process. It's always gonna be necessary to grow and to better yourself. And enjoy the process. Enjoy providing therapy. Enjoy interacting with people. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace out.